Hello, today we will start dealing with Unit 1, the English syllable. So the syllable is a unit of phonological analysis which can be very useful to account for different processes which occur in the world's languages. So the first thing that we will deal with is the internal structure of the syllable. So here we will discuss the internal structure of syllables in general, which is the same across languages, and also the internal structure of the English syllable in particular. Also, we will describe the main characteristics of stressed and unstressed syllables in English, and we will concentrate mainly on what's typical of weak syllables, which is the sound schwa and syllabic consonants. Eventually, all this knowledge should help you improve your oral practice. So what has led linguists to state that speech is organized into units such as syllables? So there are different arguments in favor of this idea. One of them is, for example, jeringoso. Jeringoso is a game that children play. So instead of saying yo no sé cocinar, they will say yo no posepe coposipinapar. This suggests that children know about the existence of syllables. They know how to divide into syllables. Also, when someone asks you, or when you ask someone to repeat something, for example, the word tomorrow. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat the word? What is it that you said? I said tomorrow. What they will do is divide into syllables. There are also motivations for an internal structure of the syllable. For example, spoonerisms. A spoonerism is an error, it's not intentional, is an error in speech in which corresponding consonants, vowels, and morphemes are switched between two words in a phrase. For example, the phrase "our dear queen" is pronounced "our queer dean." Also, we have examples in Spanish. Chocolate, telgopor, usually mispronounced as cocholate or tergopol. And here you can find some more spoonerisms to have some fun. Also, rhymes in poetry are an argument in favor of an internal structure of the syllable. In the case of the word space, it rhymes with face and with case. So what is it that rhymes exactly? And notice that it's not the consonant that precedes the vowel, but it's the vowel and the consonant following it. So this is also a hint of the existence of an internal structure for the syllable. And what is a syllable? A syllable is a phonological unit made up of one obligatory element. This obligatory element should be the most sonorous element in the syllable. Sonorous means that this sound is naturally louder than other sounds. Right? So, provided that two sounds are produced with the same amount of energy, one sound may be more sonorous than the other because it will sound louder. We can place sounds along a sonority scale, which will indicate that some sounds are more sonorous than others. So vowel sounds are at the top of this sonority scale, while plosives are the least sonorous. So in this example where we have the word painting, there are two peaks in sonority, which are the red dots. That peak coincides with vowel sounds, A and I. Our next example is drink. Here we can see how the different sounds are distributed within a syllable. Notice that the most sonorous element appears at the center of the syllable. Notice also that consonants decrease in sonority as they get away from the nucleus, so that the least sonorous segments will be at the edges of the syllable, while the most sonorous elements will be the nucleus of the syllable. This observation is stated in the sonority sequencing generalization, or SSG for short. We can reformulate our definition of syllable. We can say that a syllable is a peak in sonority. And this is a characteristic of all languages. So that's why we say that this is a universal. The internal structure of a syllable is also a universal characteristic. So a syllable in all languages is made up of a nucleus, which is the essential element in the syllable, the obligatory element in the syllable, a coda, which is the consonants following the nucleus. These two, the combination of nucleus and coda, is part of the rhyme. And also the syllable is made up of consonant elements which appear before the nucleus, called the onset. Have a look at the following Spanish words. How would you divide them into syllables? How about abrir? Probably this would be the right way to divide it. Abrir. Probably you haven't thought of abrir, right? What about mas? And what about masa? How would you divide this word? Again, I guess this would be your first choice, or maybe your only choice. You wouldn't have thought of doing the following division into syllables, mas-a. So, another universal characteristic of languages is to have as many segments in the onset as possible. And this characteristic is known as the maximal onset principle. Now, let's analyze how a Spanish speaker would divide the word inspirar into syllables. Probably this would be his only option, inspirar, while the second option, inspirar, would be wrong. However, the first option, the right one, seems to violate the maximal onset principle, while the second one doesn't violate it. Well, actually, although the first option, inspirar, violates the maximal onset principle, it conforms to the phonotactic constraints of Spanish. In Spanish, it is impossible to have the combination s plus consonant in onset position. So according to the phonotactic constraints of Spanish, it's not possible to combine s plus consonant. So phonotactic constraints are rules which govern the way of the combination of sounds within the syllable, and these phonotactic constraints are language specific. So each language will have its particular rules. How about English? How would a native English speaker divide the word inspire into syllables? This would be his first choice and probably his only choice. Inspire would be impossible, but inspire is the right choice because according to the phonotactic constraints of English, s can be a right cluster would be S plus consonant. That is possible in English. And it doesn't violate the maximal onset principle. Well, I hope this introduction will help you understand the material that you have to read, and it will help you answer the guide. You can also watch Dr. Nimr Abusalim's tutorials on English syllable structure. I would like you to start watching Phonetics 8 syllable structure. You have a web page there, and later you can watch Phonetics 9, 10, 11, and 12. They are very clear. I think that they will help you understand the material. Well, I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.